Hey, I made snakes and ladders. Anyway, let's close that. You don't need to see that. Alright, so starting from the top, we're going to use Tkinter to... I should really learn how to say that word, because I have no idea if I'm saying it right. I should say it. Anyway, so this is going to be used for making our 3 levels of windows that we need to have. So it's going to be just basic stuff. Windows, press a button, creates another window, and it keeps passing it on until we get to the actual game. And then random for spinning the wheel. So we have 2 dictionaries here, snakes and ladders. So you land on any of the key values, then you get land on that value that it would have. So you go downwards or you go up. Yeah, so snake's bad, ladder's good. So we have our players dictionary that's currently empty. So there's going to be, we're going to add the name as well as position. So here is our object that we're going to be creating. So it's just basic stuff. We're going to add the username and position, and it's that's it. So our first window that we're going to see is I didn't think of a better name for this. I should get better at naming things, just because you might start picking up my bad habits. But our first window is to enter the number of players. So I should probably call it number of players, actually. Number, it should be capitals, number of players. Save that and change it wherever. We're gonna have a long talk today. Okay, and that should fix that. Anyway, so here we are past some master values. So this is going to be a window that's being made by this. And then we're going to make a frame and append a label, which will say enter number of players. And then we're going to enter a number, or like a text thing that you can input values into. It's just going to be 30 somethings wide. I say pixels, but I actually don't know what this means. It's 30 some measurement wide. So pack, add it to our frame. We have a button to start the game. That button will pass our information to command. Command is down here. We have a global variable that's players. That's our dictionary. So I didn't need that. That's kind of irrelevant, but it's not that important. It doesn't break anything. So we have new window. We create a top level. So this is going to create a window that's in front of our current window. So here we go to the next level, enter names. So that window is self-explanatory. We're going to enter the names there. So So we're going to fetch the number that we got here. So the number in our entry, we're going to say self.get that value. And now we're going to pass it to our next class. So if you were wondering why I separated everything in classes, it was just easier to look at. And it's easier to pass them on, for me anyway, just conceptually. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. It's just this seemed clean. So from here, we know we have a certain number of players that we get to put in. So we can start generating our players, even though they'd be empty, but we could already start filling up this dictionary. So next we go into this class. We generate choices. So choices will be a grouping of labels and entries. That way we can actually go back and fetch the values later. So here we have num, which is the number of players. We have master, which is again that top level window. So we set the title to enter name. I could have just done that in frame, but that's whatever. It's the same thing, I guess. So from here we go through each value. So I wanted to do it this way from 1 to num plus 1, just because you don't want. I think our user wouldn't care for having a player 0 and then everybody having like a slightly number off, so I just changed that up. So here we say player blah blah blah, enter your name, and then we have that label. So I just separated the two just so we could have it a little bit more dynamic. It would even be better if I turn it into an F string, but this is fine for now. So we pack that, and we have our entry values, and then we're going to append that entry value that we're putting onto the frame, and we're going to append that to choices. That way we can just go through the list and just grab all of the choices that the user made. So here we enter the button, we enter our usernames, that passes to command, and then we can keep going. So we fetch players again, we create this new top level, so again another layer in front. So for each number of players, we're gonna grab current player, blah blah blah, and we're gonna start putting in the names. So current player, which will be that value, that key value that we have, and we're gonna update that, and then we're just gonna set it with the name that the user chose. And then again, we're gonna pass on to the next window. So here we're passing on our new top level, and we're passing along the num, and our global player dictionary is still updated, so we don't have to worry about that. It's still going. So then again, we get our players again. Yeah, okay, so we needed to get it for the names. So here, number of players, master, create a frame, blah, blah, blah. I did it again. Wow, cool, damn. So we have our text. So this is just a string that we're going to be updating repeatedly. So it's just I couldn't get it to update normally with label, which was odd. Maybe it's just me, but using text, like the string variable like this, it was working. So you just set it and ignore it for the most part. So in this situation, we're going to be using choices to hold all of our labels, so we can update the labels as we go along, because things are going to be moving. So that's this first label is going to be our first value in choices, and it's just going to say what the last move that the player or the current player has to move. Sorry, I just muddled a bit. So yeah, we append that to text, and then we go through all the players. We say where each player is and their name. And yeah, and then we append it to choices as well. So just for clarification, 0 will always be our main, like whose current which player has to move currently, and then like 1 to some n number will be all of the players that you can see. You'll see that in a second. So again, we make a string, and then this is our last move section. So this clarifies what just happened. Like, did you just roll and nothing happened? Did you hit a snake? Did you hit a ladder? And then we'll print that out so you can find out what's happening. So we'll also have a button for spinning and a button to quit. And so when we spin, we ironically don't go to the spin function, we go to the move function. So here we call the spin function, and then we grab whatever player is moving currently. So we know from this selection up here which player is moving. So here we can tell which one we need to grab the position for. Then from there we already know that they went, so we can increment the selection and then keep moving from there. This is for overflow. So you only have 6 players, but you now are asking for like a seventh player that doesn't exist, we go back to 0 instead. So here for the first line, we set the label to let the next player know it's their turn. And yeah, set command. Oh, right. This command is what is the last move is. This is updating our last move string. And it's going to be returned from our spin. So global players, current position, and then we add our spin value to that player's current position. And it'll be just a 1 to 12 because that's, I'm assuming the possible things. Actually, wouldn't it be 2 to 12? Because you can't roll a 1 with 2 dice. There's no 0 on a dice. Yep. So you get name. If current position is 50, which is we're setting that as our last place on the board, then you won. Good job. And then we close and we print this out. All good. And then if you hit a snake, if your current position is within the key values of snake, then you mess something up and you have to go backwards. And same thing with ladders, you get to go up. But if your value is greater than 50, then you have to go backwards now. So we take your current position, take away 50, and that's how many spaces you go backwards. From here we have players self-selection position. Oh, here we're just updating your position, that user's position. And here we create our string, which we were creating above, which I probably didn't say that well. So we grabbed the user's name and then we append the action that happened with them. And yeah, the only thing else is how to close the window, which is just we destroy the master as well as just exit. This is a bit redundant. You could, I wanted sys.exit, which is just close everything. But if you wanted to just keep playing, then you would just have to destroy the master window and then go back to the beginning. And this just starts it all off. So let's see. Okay, I don't know. So my last window, I saw that you guys couldn't see what I was doing. So just give me a sec. Okay, so there you go. So we're gonna put in 4 people. You can see, no you can't. Cool, this is fun. I have to keep jumping to the next window. Okay, so here's the next window. So yeah, what you might notice is that there are 3 windows that are going to be present. So you can always just exit one and then go backwards that way. So me, you, him, her, you, me, them. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna jump here now. So you should be able to see my screen. Yep. So we press start. So another window is now open. Just give me a second. Enter names. Oh, no, that didn't work. Okay, so here we are. So I took the liberty of going through the flow. So we start off here at the top left corner. So we enter 4, we start game, and then that creates this window here. And then, so after we get to the mid level, we enter our usernames, we press enter, we get to go to the next level. So here you'll see I spin. It changed to the second player now. Your move, ASD 10, that's what they just rolled. And then we'll keep going until somebody wins or loses. Wow, this is a month. Okay, somebody just won. Let me double check who won. So it was the second player who won, and that's it for the day. So that's your code now. You take it, do whatever you want with it. There's the chapter in the description. If you need anything else, just let me know. See ya.